Thanks for your company. Straight to our very first story. And 2 brothers have reportedly died after a team of security officers allegedly launched a gun attack on a community mining site at Tepa in the Ashanti region. Now, the deceased Abdul Samed Razak and Hashmin Osman were protecting the mining site when the security task force besieged them in a swoop. Now, 4 other persons are said to have sustained injuries, with 2 of them critically wounded. In what appeared to be a raid on illegal miners, the security personnel, numbering about 80, set ablaze mining equipment, including shamfang and other earth-moving equipment at the site.
Friday, no breaking day in Yajuma was assassin. So, your friend, no pabe 10:30.
They don't work on the land on Fridays, so they called me yesterday at 10:30. We spoke till around 12 p.m. and they told me they were going to eat and pray. They are Muslims. Within an hour, I received a call from his brother informing me that he has been shot by people from Rapid and anti-robbers. 2 were shot dead, while 3 were injured and hospitalized. When we went there, the police had not yet come for the cops, and they were lying on the ground. One of them was shot at the back of the head. They stay on site, but they don't work on Fridays. It looked as if they were sent to kill the boys, because they went straight to them. When they arrived, they were eating, so they burned the engines and the excavators they work with. The miners did not possess any weapon. The anti-robbers were about 80, and they came in 10 cars. They shot a lot of bullets, and the last one hit my brother's neck. I want justice.
Let's stay a while longer in the region, because Asantino Otumfuo Seitu II is urging households in and around the Ashanti region and corporate Ghana to join in the collective efforts to raise $10 million for the refurbishment of the main G block of the Komfanoti Teaching Hospital. Now, since its establishment nearly 70 years ago, the block housing wards of the hospital has not seen any major facelift, with most installations deteriorating. Emmanuel Bright-Quick, who joined political actors, corporate Ghana and residents at the grand launch of the Hill Komfo Anochi project to solicit funds for the refurbishment of the hospital.
Openings of cracks in the ceiling, broken floor tiling, algae-infested washrooms and congested wards. That's the present state of the old block of the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. Since its construction in 1955, the main referral center, serving 12 out of the 16 regions of the country, has not seen any major renovation works. The hospital, with an original 500-bed capacity, now accommodates about 1,200 inpatients at its main ward. At the grand launch of the Hill Komfanochi project, CEO of the hospital, Professor Ochoyade Mensah, observed overutilization of the facility contributed to the defects.
The persistent overutilization and consequent wear and tear over the years have left this hitherto impressive structure in a state that is simply unfit for the provision of contemporary specialist inpatient care services. This dire state of affairs is getting worse by the day, and we are reaching a point where if nothing was done immediately, the old G blocks could soon suffer a catastrophic structural failure with dire consequences for healthcare services in the region.
The Hill Komfanochi project seeks to raise $10 million in a public fundraising drive for renovation of the 70-year-old inpatient wards at the hospital. Sharing his experience at the hospital, the Asantehene Otumfuo Seitu prevailed on Ghanaians to join the collective effort to refurbish the facility.
I visited the hospital at night. I came here twice and I was really saddened by what I saw. Konfanochi, whom the hospital was named after, was never sick. So the hospital can't be sick.
Zom and your politics are simply and every minun you never see her quiet the Bayamana ye. Zom. Fear Piara, a Siasa, Sisu, Kumasi Piara, Sawomame, Sidi Wahana, City.
I urge everyone, including households in Ashanti region, to join me raise money for this project. Even 200 Ghana cedis will be appreciated. Let's support this project.
And once said the name say a hospital, Egu, Yedim say hospital, not say, Yedim say, and yet a Bueguaso.
From political actors to corporate Ghana, many took turns to pledge their support for the project with their resources. When completed, the refurbished block would have cutting-edge facilities for quality healthcare delivery. Samuel Edubuachi is the chairman for the project.
Let me say that the Hill Konfanochi project should not be seen as a burden, but an opportunity. It is an opportunity to honor our traditions of self-help, community solidarity. It is an opportunity to ensure that our people have access to quality health services. It is an opportunity to leave a legacy and care and compassion for our children and generations yet unborn.
Board chairman of CAF, Nana Efa Appenting, is promising a judicious use of mobilized funds.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the firm assurance that I would like to give the public in general and donors in particular is that the board is fully committed to maintaining a huge level of integrity, transparency and accountability in utilization of the funds that will be raised for the project.
The renovation of the blocks A, B, C and D is expected to be executed as part of the legacy project marking the 25th anniversary celebration of the installment of the Asante Hene next year. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
Away from the Ashanti region, it is unclear whether the Fix the Country demonstrators will be permitted to demonstrate in front of the Jubilee House every day in December. The Fix the Country protesters say the police have asked them to either postpone or relocate the planned demonstration. My colleague Kweku Asante has more.
Well, according to this press statement put out by Democracy Hub, they say that they were in contact with the Ghana Police Service about their intended, what they call Occupy Jubilee House 2.0 in December. They intended to protest from the 1st of December out to the 31st of December. If you look at this statement, Ghana Police has told them that they are unable to give them security because of the Christmas festivities and other logistical constraints. Let me quote what they say. It says, Democracy Hub, conveners of Fix the Country and Occupy Jubilee House, have received a letter from the Ghana Police Service on behalf of the IGP regarding the upcoming Occupy Jubilee House protest scheduled for December. In their letter, the Ghana Police Service expressed an inability to provide protection to the protesters during their Christmas and New Year festivities, citing what they say is their intentional lumping up of well-meaning citizens protesting about the continuous hardship in our motherland and the need for constitutional reform. So, Fix the Country and Democracy Hub does not put out a letter that was written by the police, but they quote them in this statement and argue that the police have been telling them that because of the Christmas festivities and the need to deploy security to various flashpoints in the capital and other places, it may not be able to provide security for that protest. Occupy Ghana, Occupy Jubilee House protest and Democracy Hub actually also wrote again to the Ghana Police Service regarding a meeting to discuss this. And we have just seen a letter that has been posted on the Facebook page of one of the conveners of Democracy Hub, Baka Vomawo, where the police says they cannot hold that meeting again also because of certain restraints. So two things, the protest scheduled for December, according to the police, they cannot provide security. The protesters write back to the police demanding a meeting so that they can discuss those details. The police again write back to them saying that because of certain logistical and operational restraints, they are unable to meet them for the protest. But Fix the Country say that they are going to go ahead with their December protest and nothing is going to stop them.
Now, the Constitutional Review Consultative Committee is proposing a significant overhaul, suggesting a cap of 25 ministers and the removal of all deputy and regional ministers, aiming to address the current excess of over 100 ministers. Additionally, the committee is considering the implementation of a cap on the number of constituencies as part of the comprehensive reform agenda. Now, that is just a few of the reforms the committee is considering. Listen to Chair of the Constitutional Review Consultative Committee, Clara Berry Kasati, and a member of the committee, Anthony Forson Jr., speaking on this file today.
We are even talking about removal of all deputy ministers.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
What's the basis for that suggestion?
We are cutting down the size of government.
So we cap the ministers. Our recommendation is to cap ministers at 25.
25.
Not more than 25. Ghana doesn't need more than 25 ministers to run.
Interesting.
Revolutionary.
25 ministers.
Yes. No deputy ministers.
No deputies.
No. And it's capped.
Yes.
It's not in a situation like where Akufo-Addo, surprised all of us. 126 ministers.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And constituencies too should be capped. Now we have already have
275 with the possibility of 276 with SAL.
Exactly.
Yes. And there has been a debate that we have known for a long while now that people were actually lacing their boots for a total of 25 new constituencies to be created.
The EC has come out to say that
yes, I get it.
Only one.
Yes, I get it. Yeah. You are saying it should be capped.
It should be capped. We don't need more than 277 constituencies.
So for Parliament, you are not asking for a reduced number. You want it to stay at where it is.
It's almost impossible. It will be very difficult to reduce it. If we say that let's reduce it, I mean the acrimony. So which one will be the lesser evil? Cap it.
Cap it. Mm. But the interesting point is the deputy ministers.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All will go.
Why?
Regional ministers too, all will go.
Oh.
Constitutional theorist Dr. Maame Mansabunso has charged the Office of the Special Prosecutor and other relevant state institutions to take up the challenge and investigate cases of vote buying. In the gone-by Presidential Delegates Conference, delegates confessed to receiving at least 300 cedis from candidates. Many outside the NPP have criticized that. The associate professor at Ashesi University, Dr. Maame Mansabunso, says state bodies like the OSP must be interested in that space.
We have, how many years has IOCO, SFO, I've forgotten they changed their name now, the OSP, the asset declaration regime. We can set up institutions and legislations until we are blue in the face. First of all, after all these years, have we checked to see if these institutions' workings has somehow led to a decline in corruption in the public services? What's the data? A political party, by definition, is a public institution. We don't have any control over how people fund their birthday parties. There's a reason we talk about how political parties are funded and how political parties operate, because they serve a public function. So by virtue of them being a public entity, every institution that has supervisory control over public entities has jurisdiction over them. So if the OSP were minded to, it should be no bar to him that it is an internal matter of a public body. But even if we were going to, concede that argument, if you spend 80 million CDs trying to get people to vote for you, I think that figure qualifies as an organized or economic crime. So I think that if nobody else has jurisdiction, IOCO should. Because people are hauled before IOCO for much smaller sums. Mm. I want us to think about the idea of a cake. Mm. What is a cake and what is it for? Right? There's no such thing as growing a cake. We eat it. Yes. We cut it up. We disappear it completely. Now, when you go to a function and they're going to cut the cake, nobody at the function asks, where did the ingredients of the cake come from? How are we going to rebake this cake? The point I'm making here is that the way we think about our nation is predatory. We think of a national cake, it means we think we are going to eat it up. Yes. So if we finish the cake we will have nothing left. And as long as we think of our country as something to be consumed, we're going to get nothing more than what we have now.
And former president of the Ghana Bar Association, Anthony Forson Jr., is of the opinion that state institutions, particularly the National Commission for Civic Education, is not doing their work.
Blame the NCCE. If you look at their role under the Constitution, we've not been able to educate people to understand that political office is a trust office. So when somebody is in political office, he's actually your servant, as Mr. Kujato keeps saying. You see, but it's the reverse, that when somebody becomes an MP, honorable, we start even worshipping the very ground that the person treads on.
Well, he believes that expanding the electoral college at the political party level will make it impossible for candidates to pay anyone involved.
I think we can do to stem this flow is people should get interested in politics. At least, if you are a card-bearing member of the NDC or the NPP, if all card-bearing members were voting, I don't think this will happen.
All right.
Because then it becomes like a national election.
So one of your suggestions here is that they should expand the electoral college.
Yes, so every person...
To include every card-bearing member.
Exactly.
So that you can pay.
You can pay.
All right.
Well, researcher and reform advocate Oliver Bakar-Vomawa says there must be fund disclosure system to check the source of funds.
I think that for me, the truth is that a lot of our problems come from the refusal of institutions to enforce the laws they have. But it is also not an invitation for us who are thinking through the process to fold our arms in the air. The truth is that there's no declarative system for when people have contributed to your campaign to disclose, because those empower a candidate better in different ways. That even if the two candidates before who are contesting for the Ghana Bar president, for instance, and one receives monies or whatever it is for political parties, and the other person doesn't receive it, voters are entitled to know who is receiving what, and there has to be a disclosure process that doesn't exist. That's some of the campaign finance reforms that we're talking about at the national level as well.
You're still watching JoyNews Prime. More after this break. Hello, welcome back. Let's continue with the rest of our stories. And conditions on the stalled Obechebi-Lamte interchange project site in Accra is worsening for users and those doing business within the Abosiokain, Kaneshi and the Graphic Road enclave. Gaping potholes, dust during dry conditions, stagnant waters and muds during wet conditions are making life unbearable for road users and traders. My colleague Kwesi Kwante Nadai returns to the project site 4 months after our last visit and finds that conditions are deteriorating. Here's his report.
The Obechebi-Lamte interchange is the main access road to the central business district of Accra. It is also the access road to the famous Abosiokain spare parts market, as well as Ghana's premier and biggest health facility, the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. President Akufo-Addo cut sword for the construction of the $135 million project in October 2019 to help ease traffic and reduce commuting time to the hospital and other parts of the city. But the poor state of the road is negating this objective. The halting of the project is believed to be in relation to Ghana's IMF program. Since the situation has been worsening, potholes here have become bigger, making it almost impossible for drivers to maneuver the roads under the interchange. This results in huge traffic jam around the area. The situation has been worsened by muddy conditions and stagnant waters collected in these gaping potholes. Road users say this is affecting travel and business. Drivers say they are forced to incur huge maintenance costs due to the damage caused to their vehicles.
I'm just coming from the market to get some spare parts. And then, you work, you get money and use it to buy spare parts all the time. And it's right in the boot. Oh, drivers complain a lot. And then sometimes too, the passengers too, they used to complain because as the car is shaking up and down like that, some are complaining their waist Ghana is old, like 60 years and above, and we are still constructing roads. I don't get it.
The situation is even worse for those who trade within the enclave. Both wet and dry conditions have some impact on them.
Because they haven't finished the road, a lot of traffic. When you go to the central box, a lot of traffic. Most of the times, it got an accident. You understand? A lot of traffic. And people cannot get car instantly because the road are not completed. The business will move very slowly. Because, example, someone want to come in and come and buy some parts. He have to park the car outside, walk distance before coming. Maybe the time that the person will come, people are just closing. And it will affect me, it will affect the person too as well. Secondly, the dusty. Very lucky for us that today it have rained. You can see from here. You can see from here, it have rained today. So it will save us. But if it dries, we can pass here unless you put on the nose mask. As soon as you put on the nose mask, your eyes, definitely it will go there. Those are selling the food. The dust will just go there because of our health. That's why we want to eat good, very good food so that you get energy or strength to work. But whereby there's a dust there, the dust will just enter in the food.
The nature of the road is not very good to us. It does not help us in any way, especially those trading around the area. Full of dust, and the road itself is not very good. So we don't feel comfortable here. So we are pleading to the government through this media that it can accelerate the work so we can also get some relief in the course of time.
The dilapidated roads at the interchange has become very treacherous to navigate, posing risks to drivers and passengers. The users are calling on government to, as a stopgap measure, grade and regularly water the road as they await the final completion. Kwesi Adai Kwartens reports for Joy News.
And to answer our story, we are learning this hour. Former Black Stars forward Raphael Dwamena has died after suffering a cardiac attack in a league game on Saturday, today, November 11. Now, the 28-year-old lost consciousness in the 23rd minute during the league match between his side, Etnachia and Partizan, and was immediately taken to the hospital. Dwamena, however, did not survive upon arrival at the hospital, leading to the unfortunate incident. His death was subsequently confirmed by the Albanian Football Association through a statement minutes after the incident. The Ghana Football Association also confirmed the news with a statement on their social media platforms. And there it goes. Our thoughts are with the family of Raphael Dwamena at this difficult time. Raphael represented Ghana wholeheartedly and paid his dues to the country until his unfortunate passing. We will forever miss him for his dedication to the national cause. Rest in peace, Raphael. And CNN has also confirmed that as well. Ghana international footballer Raphael Dwamena dies aged 28 after collapsing on the pitch. Really sad indeed. May his soul rest in perfect peace. And that's how we part company here on JoyNews Prime. I am Pius Kojubaka. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Do have a lovely evening. Bye.